What's up, everyone? You're here with Goran, and thank you for joining me here for your free picks for Wednesday, December 20th. Well, guys, we had some interesting games going on Tuesday, and we've hit some, we lost some. I was mostly a lot disappointed in Bundesliga. Three games, three draws, 1-1 in Werder versus Leipzig, 1-1 in Dortmund versus Mainz. We had seven corners in that one. We had a pick of over 9.5, and Hoffenheim and Darmstadt was quite a fun game that ended in a 3-3 draw. So, like I said, three games and three draws. In the EFL Cup, I can't complain much about it. It's a single leg matchup in the quarterfinals, and Everton went to the penalty shootout. Chelsea scored a late one to hit our both teams to score, also went to the penalty shootout. And Middlesbrough basically demolished Port Vale on the road 3-0. And I honestly expected a little bit more from Port Vale, to be honest. And I was quite disappointed in that one as well. On the Wednesday, we actually have quite a lot of games. We have full League One slate. I picked four games to talk about from that. We have some Bundesliga games, we have some La Liga games, and of course, we have that fourth matchup in the EFL Cup between Liverpool and West Ham. So, stay tuned, guys. Hit that like button, and of course, make sure you subscribe to the Pickdawgz YouTube channel. We do appreciate it a lot, and it does help us promote our channel. For my best bets, click the link in the description. That will get you up to my page on the Pick Dawgz website. And there you can sign up, get a daily pass, 3-day pass, 7-day pass, or even a month-long pass if that's something you want to do. Let's get the show on the road, guys. Like I said, first game, Liverpool versus West Ham in the Carabao Cup or the EFL Cup, however you want to call it. Two teams that have been in a solid form. Liverpool now hasn't won any of their last two games, but they're still a very, very dangerous team that needs to get back to their old goal-scoring ways because they are playing against Arsenal on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, and it's quite a big matchup in which they need to go to in the best form possible and quite in an effective form because we know that they had a 0-0 draw against United with like I don't know 17 shots on target or something like that. So they need to get their offense going once again. West Ham on the other side is now on a two-game winning streak while losing only one of their last what 9 games or so, and they are scoring quite a lot of goals. They're creating chances. They are defending pretty well also. And once again, I know this is a single leg matchup. We have to be careful with this ones. But I decided to go with both teams to score and over 2.5 at minus 127. In Spanish La Liga, guys, we have three games to talk about, and the first one is between Barcelona and Almeria. Barcelona being the home team in this one, as we can see, pretty heavy favorites at minus 835. The over 3.5 is set up at like minus 160 something, and it's quite the insane price, to be honest, which means we have to look for some value somewhere. Almeria, by far the worst team in the league, at the bottom of the table. And if Barcelona can't beat this Almeria team, they can simply retire. So I do expect a little bit more effort from them. They haven't won any of their last three games. However, they haven't lost to Almeria when playing at home in any of their last 8 matchups. So I'm going to take Barcelona minus one in the first half at minus 122. There might be some other value somewhere else, but I think this was fairly likely to hit if Barcelona decides to show up and get their offense going finally. Athletic Bilbao is hosting Las Palmas in the next matchup, and you know what? They are now being carried by that huge win they had against Atletico Madrid 2-0, and they need to keep it going. They have been one of the most effective teams in the league so far this season. While Las Palmas, they're actually in the top half of the table and they're undefeated in their last 2 or 3 games or so. However, all those games were against the weaker teams, teams like Cadiz, and they played against Alaves as well, and some lower league team in the Copa del Rey competition. But Athletic Bilbao is a different beast this season. They have been outstanding at home, 6 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. They haven't lost to Las Palmas in any of their last 4 home games, and for that reason, guys, I'm taking Bilbao minus 1.5 at plus 108. The last game of the day is between Villarreal and Celta Vigo in La Liga. And honestly, when I saw this one, the first thought that came to mind was both teams to score and over 2.5. But I decided to settle simply with just both teams to score, which is minus 151, minus 159 right now. I would not blame you if you took the over 2.5 as well, but with neither side being able to defend right now and both teams going for the win or for at least some kind of effort in that attacking end, I'm going to go with both teams to score at minus 159. Now we are off to German Bundesliga, guys, and the first game that we have to talk about is between Union Berlin and Cologne. Union Berlin, we've been seeing some decent stuff from them lately. They are also getting a new head. They did get a new head coach, so there has been some positive movement. But they are now on a two-game losing streak, and they need to bounce back. There is no better team for that for Union Berlin than Cole. Cole has scored only 10 goals so far this season. They're not scoring on the road, and yet they're conceding a lot. And I know that Union Berlin has been pretty much horrible for the entire season so far. They have been struggling a lot. Uh, they just can't get the hang of their form and they're dropping points all over the place. They're conceding a lot of goals. But if they're going to beat somebody, it's going to be cold. So I'm going to take Union Berlin on the money line, which is minus 117 right now. Hopefully that improves by the game time, but I definitely could see Union Berlin getting one or two goals here to get a nice home win. Heidenheim is hosting Freiburg in the next matchup, and I think this one could be very interesting because both teams are playing solid football right now. And Heidenheim, as a matter of fact, starting as one of the worst teams in the league, is now on a nice two-game winning streak, and they're slowly climbing the standings toward the top half of the table. In the They haven't played a lot of games against each other. Only two times back in 2015 and 16, and Freiburg has won both of those games. But Freiburg is coming into this game with a ton of injured players. They really lack depth right now, and that could potentially be a problem for them because Heidenheim has been playing their best football at home, especially when it comes to scoring goals per day. They are averaging two scored goals per game. So uh, in this one, I'm taking both teams to score at minus 148. Leverkusen is looking for another win, and this time against Bochum, guys. And honestly, there is no betting against Leverkusen right now. I don't care who they play against, whether they play against Bayern or a sloppy team such as Bochum. There is no betting against Leverkusen right now. They are still undefeated this season. They are at the top of the table with 42 scored goals in 15 games. That's an average of almost three scored goals per game, guys. And at home, they are averaging three scored goals per game. So everything is pointing us towards Leverkusen here. They're playing well. They're coming off of another win. They basically demolished Eintracht Frankfurt 3-0 at home, and it could have been a lot worse if I'm being honest. So over 1.5 goals in the first half at minus 120. That's going to be my official pick for this one. As the alternative pick, I'm going to go for a little bit of value, and I'm going to take Leverkusen team total over 1.5 in the first half, which is around plus 130 on my book right now. Eintracht and who do we have? Borussia Mönchengladbach is the next matchup that we have in Bundesliga. And like I said, Eintracht got basically demolished. They got ass whooped by Leverkusen 3-0. And now they're facing this Borussia Mönchengladbach team, a very schizophrenic team. The team that looks like a world beater at some point, and then they look like a team that's going to be fighting for the relegation to stay out of the relegation in the other game. And honestly, I don't think we're going to see much defense in this game. So I'm going to go with both teams to score an over 2.5, which is minus 115 right now. I will gladly take this, and I think this is going to be a nice moneymaker pick for us. Stuttgart is hosting Augsburg, and Stuttgart also got their ass whooped by Bayern this past weekend 3-0. And honestly, I expected a little bit more from them. They were healthy. They had their all of their starters, and they should have done more against Bayern than they did. At least get to the scoreboard, maybe if not getting a positive result. But they need to bounce back against Augsburg now. Augsburg has also been fairly solid so far this season. They're in 10th place. They have scored a solid 24 goals in 15 games. Sure, they are scoring a lot more at home than they are on the road, but I think in this game that Stuttgart will be focused so much on the offense that they might let a few chances slide, and this is going to be the opportunity for Augsburg. So I'm going to take Augsburg over 2.5 shots on target in this one, which is minus 150. I think you can stretch that to over 3.5 as well. And I think that's going to be a nice winner for us as well because Augsburg definitely is more than capable of creating decent chances and getting some goals on their own as well. So Augsburg over 2.5 shots on target at minus 150. The last game of the day in Bundesliga is between Wolfsburg and Bayern Munich. And even though Wolfsburg is coming off of a win against Darmstadt, even with a red card, they have beaten them 1-0 on the road. They are quite unlucky right now because they will be missing a few players because of the injuries and suspensions. While Bayern Munich finally got a proper game and they got a proper win against Stuttgart, it was 3-0 at home. And you know what? This is their second clean sheet in a row. They're finally starting to look like the old Bayern we know, and we know that that Bayern can outscore anyone in the world. And certainly Wolfsburg is not that good of a defensive team this season because they have conceded 25 goals already, and they do not have the offense to pick up the slack. So we have to look for some value somewhere. Maybe take Bayern to win it over 2.5. That might be a solid pick. But I decided to go with a player prop here, and that is Kane over 1.5 shots on target, which is minus 127. I was honestly surprised by this one because uh, we know that he finds himself in a lot of chances, and this is certainly gonna be another good game for him because he's been scoring goals like crazy since he got to Bayern, and honestly, I wouldn't put it past him to get a hat trick in this one. So that might be worth like half a unit as well if that's something you want to do. But Kane over 1.5 shots on target is definitely the way to go for me in this one. After the French League One, guys, we had four games, like I said, to talk about. The first one is between Montpellier and Marseille. Montpellier, a very struggling team, even though they have beaten Metz 1-0 this past weekend in the League One. Marseille seem to be finally catching up, and they finally got a win. On the road a couple of weeks ago against Lorient 4-2, and now they can do the same against Montpellier. I think that Marseille is the better team here. They're quite solid defensively. They're finally getting the hang of their form, like I said. Aubameyang has been scoring. He's been getting some goals. He's been getting some assists as well. He has 5 goals and 7 assists so far already this season. And you know what? He's going to be in the starting lineup here as well. And I think this is going to be another great game for Marseille. So we are getting them at a nice plus money. And I think this is a very, very valuable pick. Marseille money line plus 110. I'm going to go with this one in this match in the French League One. Nice and Lens is the next matchup. And you know what? As soon as I saw this one, the under 2.5 really crossed my mind. I got to be honest about that. But you guys know that I do not like to bet unders. And last time I've done it, I failed miserably. There were like 4 goals in that game. But I think that this one might definitely go under 2.5, and the price is minus 152. I'm not gonna take it, but with Nice being the best defensive home team with only 2 conceded goals in 8 games, and with the fact that Lens is not scoring a lot on their own, less than a goal on average, and they're actually defending quite well. I'm gonna go with a draw plus 215. I think this should be a fairly evenly matched game. If we see a goal or two, fine. I wouldn't put it past these guys to get a 0-0 draw, maybe even 1-1 draw. But however I slice it, I see a draw between these two teams. So Nice versus Lens, I'm gonna go with the draw. PSG is hosting Metz, and this is another game where I decided to go with the player prop simply because it's very hard to find some value. As we can see, the over 2.5 is valued at minus 295. PSG on the money line minus 770. So we would need to bet on at least over 3 goals to get something out of this game. Or we could take a player prop, which is Mbappe over 2.5 shots on target at plus 112. He takes a lot of shots in every game. He is the main target guy for PSG. He is their creator pretty much, and he is their leading goal scorer as usual is. And I think he is the leading goal scorer of the entire French League One as well. So he has 16 goals in 15 games, and he's gonna take a few shots in this one as well. So Mbappe over 2.5 shots on target at plus 112. And the last pick of this video, guys, is between Toulouse and Monaco. Monaco is coming off of a loss against Lyon at home. I gotta say that because that was a shocking result to me, to be honest. Monaco not scoring against horrible Lyon team at home, but I'm pretty sure they will do it against Toulouse here, who is a very solid team. They haven't been scoring a lot this season, but luckily for them, Monaco on the road is one of the worst defensive teams in the league with an average of 2 conceded goals per game. So however, I slice it, guys, in this one, I do see both teams to score, which is not valued that highly. But if we add over 2.5 as well, we are getting it at minus 112, and that's exactly what I'm going to do in this one. So Toulouse versus Monaco, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals, and that is at minus 112. That's it, everyone. Thank you for joining me here. These were free picks for Wednesday. I hope you have a great day, guys. We are gearing up for another big weekend, so stay tuned for that and enjoy your day, guys. Good luck with all of your bets, and I'll see you soon with more free picks.